Now, growing up, I was always into WWE. That was my thing. I wouldn't say I was a tomboy, but it's like I wasn't a girly girl either. I didn't want Barbies. I didn't want all of that. I wanted the WWE figures. I wanted to watch wrestling. I was into like basketball and sports and stuff like that, right? But I wasn't able to play sports in school. I remember being in elementary and the gym teacher or whatever, and I kept harassing me to play basketball. And it's like I knew I couldn't because I'm the oldest of seven. Now I'm the oldest of five, in which resided with me, but I was the oldest, so it's like I had responsibilities to do at home. It's like I couldn't accept that you know extra thing, because then I'd put pressure on my parents, and I knew I couldn't fulfill it. I couldn't give a lot of time and attention to that thing, because there was time and attention that need to be had at home. And I was only a little youngster. I remember having to really take control over my siblings at 7, where I had to cook, clean, wake them up for school, get them ready, and all that other stuff. My mom, she was always at work. She did what she could to make sure that we had what we needed. We had food, clothes, at least the basic necessities. And she was always at work, which is understandable. Sometimes she'll pull doubles or whatever not. She just had to do what she had to do, and that left me being responsible for my other siblings, which was, I mean, it was fine until it wasn't, okay? Until it wasn't. Now, it wasn't fine until my mom, like, I was always responsible for these kids, okay? And if they did something, I got in trouble. I got yelled at. They were my responsibility. And what really got me was my mom. I remember this so vividly because I was like, what? Where she told her children that they did not have to listen to me. Who's watching your children? Me. Who's responsible for your children? Me. Who gets in trouble for what your children do? Me. But you tell them not to listen to me? Lord, listen, after that, I'm not gonna lie, I was fed up. I remember always trying to go to my auntie house. I used to beg my auntie, like, can you please adopt me? I begged her on a constant basis, so serious. Adopt me. Take me, please. And I really wish she would have just dove a little deeper, asking why or whatever not. But, it is what it is. I stayed. I did what I had to do because I'm a kid. I have no choice. I have no other options. And so my dad, I remember him being in the house. He never worked though. Never worked. My dad, he spent a lot of his time on the game, playing EA Sports. Is in a game. I don't know, but whatever that is, football, I despise it just because of my father. I'm not gonna lie. Because he was low key, a high key sore loser, and so every time he lost, which was often, it's like he would take it out on everybody, and all he did was play the game, get high, and beat my mom's, and eat our fruit snacks. That was him in a nutshell. I don't ever recall that man ever working, and he was in the house, but it's like he didn't do anything for us. Like, I had to do it. I had to learn how to cook. I had to wake them up for school, get them ready for school, make sure they take their baths, make sure they go to bed in a decent manner, and all this other. I had to do that. He was just in his own little world, playing the game or whatever not. Okay. And I remember my dad always asking me for some money. And I used to keep track of this money because I expected this money back. I kept track to the cents for a very long time. And then once I got older, probably 16, 17, I ended up eventually like forgetting the amount. But remember, it was at least 13. I know that much, okay? And never paid me back, ever. And it's like, I ain't like that. But I always gave it to him because, again, still, you're my dad. Hello. So yeah. And where I got money, odd things. I'll help clean up. My granny, she was always supportive and trying to help out. I remember once I turned 12, that's when I really started buying my own everything, my contact, like things I needed, like my glasses, contacts to see and all that. Y'all, I'm blind. Yes, assist can't see. Okay. Big astigmatism over here. Okay, that's my business. But I would always go to her house and clean up her house for some money or help her out on whatever she need. And she always, came through for us. And I definitely appreciated my granny for that, for sure. But I remember when I was 12 specifically, when I was 12, I was, making burgers and fries. I remember in the kitchen, and I was talking to my mom. She was letting me know all the things that I needed to do for her children. She was at work, of course, and my dad was over there playing a game. And he obviously was losing. And I remember him coming in the kitchen talking about get off the phone, get off the phone. And I'm like, I'm talking to my mama. I don't care, hang up the phone. I'm not hanging up the phone. So then he grabs me by my throat, chokes me, and slams me into the kitchen door. And I don't know what happened next. I must have blacked out and swung back or did something. Because then he's like, oh, you want to fight back? Oh, you want to fight back? And so then he goes get a hanger. And I'm like, whatever. And I intentionally left my mom on the phone so that she can hear what was going on. And he come back with a hanger again. I'm not my mama. So I must have blacked out again because I don't know how the hanger ended up in my hand or whatever not. And so he's sitting here going around yelling and fussing or whatever not. Then I think I called my auntie or whatever not, the one I've been begging for to adopt me. That was his sister. And so eventually he ended up moving out and living with my auntie for a week. 7 days a week. And my mother allowed him back in the house after that. Now, remind you, he's always putting his hands on my mama. Always, okay? And I remember I asked her, like, why did you allow him to move back in? Like, why would you do that after what he just did to me? And she's like, well, he's your father, and I want y'all to know your father. We very well know our father. We know who he is. We're aware. You can let him go. But that was her reasoning. That was her excuse. And I truly felt like she put him before me. And it's like, I'm helping you out. You don't need him. He's not doing anything for us. He's not bringing in any type of money. He's actually destroying your property, destroying your cars. He's making things worse for you, but you're still choosing him over us. We see what's going on. We're not silly. We're not stupid. We know that's our daddy. We know who our daddy is. We don't need to be in the same household as him because he's toxic. Okay? But that's when I felt betrayed. When I first felt betrayed by her, because there was no reason for him to come back. For what he do to you, then him to turn around and try to do the same thing to me, but I ain't you, because I will fight back. Again, listen, y'all, WWE. I loved it. I wanted to be China, okay? I know my siblings didn't like me because I always used to beat them up. I apologize, sorry, but I used to like to fight. That was my business, okay? But I felt betrayed by my mom because I felt like she chose him over me. And I was the one helping her. I was the one assisting her while she's at work, while she's trying to, make things happen. I'm making sure that her kids is good. And for her to do that was a big slap in the face, honestly.